on a platform. This is purpose. This is people. This is service. Grow and grow, forward together and let's go far. Forward together and let's go far. You don't always have to be inspired. Sometimes you can be that inspiration. Grow and grow, your life is not expired. Walk in your purpose every day. Stay blessed and inspired. Spotlight on kindness and community light. People making change and doing what's right. Voices overlooked now stepping inside. Lived experiences turning darkness to bright. Each one teach another, let the healing begin. Safe space, see the broken, let the truth come in. Know your worth, know your value within. Love is an action word, let the journey begin. You are blessed to be a blessing. No limitation to your becoming. Grow and grow, forward together and let's go far. You don't always have to be inspired. Sometimes you can be that inspiration. Grow and grow, your life is not expired. Presidential volunteer service awardee, minister and chaplain serving faithfully, career coach guiding youths carefully, peer support specialist agnostic Bengali, broadcasting ready lot and left for some shot radio, panel discussions taking wisdom far, GG show conversations raise the bar. Now you know exactly who we are. Purpose driven, kingdom living, conscious conversation, healing generation. Make kindness your lifestyle and let love be your action word. See our recent fight, forefront today. With our Harley Quinn, DJ Quinn, the matured mixer. Forward together, and together we can go far.
Welcome to Forefront today. This is a moment of storytelling, and I am glad that I have you as my audience, and I hope that you can help me welcome my guest for tonight, who is none other than Mr. Mark V. Smith. Mr. Mark V. Smith, my team tonight is leading through uncertainty in building workforce success. Well, it's a good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome again to another edition of Forefront Today Live. I am your host, DJ Quinn, and the Detroit Mixer, your musical companion and your hope pusher, your lid lifter. Tonight, we are honored to welcome an accomplished leadership strategist, a workforce development expert, a speaker, an author, Mr. Mark V. Smith. Mark has dedicated his life to helping individuals, organizations, schools, and workforce agencies navigate change, lead through uncertainty, and unlock human potential. His latest article, Lead Yourself When the Fog Rolls In, reminds us that uncertainty doesn't have to stop us. It can actually become our strong springboard to growth. Please help me welcome once again Mr. Mark V. Smith to Forefront today. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you, DJ Quinn, for having me on today. I truly appreciate this opportunity.
It's always a pleasure, man. Mark, before we get into the talking, man, before we talk about workforce development and leadership, I want to personally thank you, man. You are one of the few men who have supported me in the secular world, advocated for me, and genuinely added value to my life. I kept you on my prayer list because I believe honoring people who have been a blessing to others. The last time you joined me on Zoom, we discussed your
Yeah.
health journey. Many of our viewers may remember that conversation. So let me ask you, how is your health today? What have you learned from that experience?
Well, I learned that through faith, through um, prayer, through dedication, through um, resiliency, that God is good. He is good every single day. He never fails us. He never lets us down. Um, as of today, 2 years out, back in 2024, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. As of today, I'm cancer free. I got my last PSA result yesterday, matter of fact, and it showed things are great where they should be. So now I'm not taking the PSA test every 3 months. I'm up to once a year, and it just feels good, man. I lost my father at age 62 of prostate cancer, so I was
Mm,
deadly worried about could I example or be the person that exempts the same fate. And God has more work for me to do, and I'm ready to answer the call. I'm ready to do the work that He asked me to do, but I'm also ready to continue to impact, empower, and uplift people through conversation, through action, and consistency all the way through.
awesome, awesome. You know, I pray for many people. I even pray for a dog. I was in custody with a dog one time, and
Yeah.
I was left with the dog. The owner went away overseas, and I couldn't find the dog after I was taking the dog for a walk on the street. The dog, I loosened him off the leash, and he disappeared from me, ran under someplace, and I couldn't find his dog for 2 days. And that
Mm,
dog made me pray for 3 days, until the third day, I was walking, I keep calling his name, and he just came up from under the building and wagged his tail and walked to me scared.
hmm.
And I know prayer works. And then I know many other people I prayed for, but you was one of those guys that I work with who I kept, when you called and told me what was the situation, I
Yeah.
really felt bad for you. I really felt crushed. But I know that prayer works, and you are a testimony of that. So I'm glad that you're here living on purpose.
I believe, DJ Quinn, that we all are going to have trials and tribulations. We're all going to have situations in life that are going to notice. I didn't say problems. I said situations in life that are going to test our faith, going to test our resolve, going to test how are we going to react. And I'm no different than anybody else. I've had multiple sessions of testing avenues. And again, I just would tell anybody this, like I truly believe that if you believe that you're going through something for a different reason, then you're going to get through that reason. You'll hear me say probably multiple times tonight that I believe life is simplistic. It really is. Life is was designed, was created to be simplistic. We as humans, we're the ones that convolute it.
Mm. My tagline is I live simply so that others may simply live. So you and I have this gene of trying to live simple so that
Yeah.
others may simply live. I believe that. And I'm so glad you're here tonight. As we have just come out of the month of June, is the first day of the month of July, which is recognized as Men's Health Awareness Month. What message would you like to share with men about taking care of themselves physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually?
I think those that love you would rather carry your pain than carry your casket. And what I mean seriously by that is don't be afraid to bottle things up. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to go through situations in your life. It's okay to not know or be searching for answers that you don't even understand. So I would tell any man to please make sure that you are following up with your regular checkups. Please make sure you're going to the doctor. Please make sure you're watching what you ingest inside your body. I read something the other day that really um, made me really take a step back. And it said, remember, I just said again, life is simplistic, we convoluted. I read an article about how individuals, they don't understand that their decisions are help with the consequences that they're going to encounter. So let me break it down a little bit further and tie it into health. We know that the congestion overconsumption of red meat, what it can cause to our heart and to our bodies. We know that the overconsumption of smoking, what it can lead to. We know that the overconsumption of alcohol, what it can lead to. But yet and still people still make the decision to do it. But we don't use what I call the report card or the grading system, and that's the consequences. If you know the consequences that are likely to happen, why do we do it? And that's what I'm saying right now. Men, if you know that you have a history or your family has a history of certain diseases or certain ailments, if you're not feeling well, don't be afraid to go have that checked out. It's not a badge of honor to admit you don't feel good. It's not, I mean, it's not, you have to take care of yourself. Somebody is always depending on you. And quite frankly, somebody's always looking up to you. So you're setting a role model, you're setting the standard, and you're setting the stage of what needs to happen.
Hmm. Thanks, Mark. But has your health journey changed your perspective on leadership and purpose?
I don't think it's changed my journey. I think it's intensified it. And what I mean by that, Dr. DJ Quinn, is that I know it really put in the center place that there's work that I have to do. And by the work that I have to do is I have to be able to get in front of and share my stories. Not just a story, but stories. Because my story resembles so many other people, from overcoming through trials and tribulations, through divorce, through bankruptcy, through not knowing how you're going to feed your family, to not to so many different things. But it all ties in. Everything that we do ties into your workplace as well, because you carry that into work. So how can you
Yeah.
be the best person that you truly can be if you don't have that peace within? So it has really made me, I want to say, put the pedal to the metal when I go and have the opportunity to speak at different conferences, when I have the opportunity to speak at different organizations, when I'm doing seminars. I'm strongly impressing that you must utilize the 86,400 seconds. That's all we get per day. You got to utilize that
86,400. Hmm. I
86,400.
always hear you talk about that.
86,400. You got to utilize that every single day, because you can't cash it in. I can't put it in the bank. I can't gift it to somebody else. It all falls on me. So
Yeah.
that is what I've been doing since the health crisis. I mean, I took the messaging serious prior to that, but that just opened my eyes to just say, wait a minute, Mark, you really have to accelerate on what you're doing and how you're doing it. You think smarter. You don't think just to be thinking. You think smarter, because life is simplistic.
Yeah, life is simplistic. But maybe if you share some warning signs that men ignore, maybe it will help some of us to take that extra step to go check ourselves. I mean, I do my blood work. I always find the free places when we have these career events and people are
Mhm.
doing checks. I had my blood check. But what are some of the warning signs men have to look for? Or
Man, you need,
wives or spouses?
yeah, the irritability. I And when I mean irritability, the frustrations, right? There's
Yeah.
frustrations that come through our mind because we don't have to understand it. One of the most common one for men with prostate cancer, of course, is the frequent urination, right? You're going to the bathroom consistently. You're getting up in the middle of the night. You have to go to the bathroom. You may be driving in the car and you got to pull over someplace to go to the bathroom. The if you're talking about different types of ailments of food borne or food things that convolute, you pay attention to what your body's doing. If you're going breaking into sweats, if you're notice swelling on your fingers and your limbs or anything like that, that tells you, wait a minute, I need to call attention to that. Too many people, again, they don't stop and say, wait a minute, what's wrong with my body? Because your body naturally is designed to heal itself, right? If any ailments or anything that comes in, it's designed to heal itself. But when we ignore it, then it's going to continue to manifest, and then to the point to where, wait a minute, you're going to need assistance for it to heal itself versus you taking the time to do the things you need to do it.
Yeah. Mark, you're one of the many people who I know went through the operation. What happens after the operation? What should men look for? And how should they take care of themselves to remain healthy, stress free, kind of?
Um, wow, that's a great question. You really want to look at what your life means to you at that point. Um, More specifically, you have to outline where your career is going or where you want your career to be. We naturally as men, because you don't have your prostate anymore, you go through a rebuilding or rehabilitation state to get your what we call our sexual functions back in order. And it gets frustrating for a lot of men because they're like, wait a minute, this is something that has been so free and easy for me my whole entire life, and now I have to wait. I have to continue to wait. I have to look at potentially medication, potentially additional surgeries. It plays tricks on you, and you actually think, because I am. Some people know I'm an executive member of Zero Prostate Cancer for DC and Maryland. So I'm on the executive board. And I hear from a lot of men who really truly get frustrated, and it sends them down a mental spiral because they can't have sexual intercourse or anything like that with their wives or significant others or whatever. So it truly requires some patience. You have to be patient. You have to utilize your resources, because there's plenty of men who've gone through what they go through at that particular time. So you have to utilize those as sounding boards so you don't wind up driving yourself crazy and wondering why me. Right? I did a podcast a long time ago, and it was entitled Why Not Me? And as soon as I found out that I had prostate cancer, that whole series came back to me. Why not me? Why shouldn't it be me? Why shouldn't I be the one to have to go through some of those things as well? I'm no different than anybody else. Many people have lost fathers, brothers, uncles, grandparents to that word cancer. Why shouldn't I have to go through it and battle it out? And I realized that I made it through because I'm here to give a testimony to men that they can get through it, to families that they can unite, that you can be a sounding board and a springboard for others to know that it's going to be okay.
Speaking of families, Mark, how supportive families are to be for a man going through a process like that?
I'm sorry, you have to say that again. You were breaking up a little bit.
I was asking how supportive families are to be when a man goes through a process like that.
Man, they had that means everything. That truly means everything. Nobody wants to go through that life altering, and it is life altering. That life altering experience alone. So I'm blessed to have a wonderful wife who stood 100% by me, who I use the word coached me up on days that I really felt down about it. My mother was a great spirit to me because she's seen this before, right? She's seen this with my father, how everything unfailed. Um, you again, your network of people, your circle of people, your circle. You find out, one thing about it, man, is you find out who is truly in your circle versus who's in your cage when you go through something like that. And sadly, you lose friends who you thought were your friends when you're going through, because nobody checks on you to make sure that you're doing okay here, right? The surgery is okay, you're gonna get through that, God willing, you're gonna get through that. But it's here where the battle goes. How do you look at yourself? Who is looking, who knows what you're going through, who looks at you and may look at you funny because you told them you had that dreaded C word, cancer. So, but I just been blessed, man. Great family. I've got two sons, and they're in their late 30s. And I'm telling them now, listen, at 40, you need to start getting checked. I mean, it's hereditary. You seen your grandfather, you seen me. Now let's get to this early. So if you do have it, then we know what we need to do to attack it.
Hmm. I want to take a time to welcome those of you coming on in on Facebook and YouTube. I know some of you like to bring about the herb conversation there. People resort to herbs and other alternative medicines. Mark, what's your take on alternative medicines that are over the counter or home herbs and those kind of things that we know from South America.
I think
Use of that.
natural medication is always going to be the way to go. I didn't I didn't believe that that was the way. I thought a pill would fix it. Again, I had to learn life is simplicity. We mess it up, right? I told you, you're gonna hear me say that a lot because it circles back to that, from the way you eat to the medication that you're putting into your body. I mean, there are natural things in life that you can congest or ingest that help heal you, make you feel better 100% of the time. Case in point, I found myself a long time ago refusing to live a plant-based diet. Nope, not gonna happen. I'm gonna eat a steak. I'm gonna have some chicken. I'm gonna have some ribs on the holidays. I refuse to even consider eating in a plant-based diet. After I went through prostate surgery, my surgeon told me that was probably the best thing that helped me heal in such a remarkable amount of time. A lot of people have, they say a lot of people have leakage after prostate surgery for up to a year, 18 months. I had it for less than a week, right? Because again, I changed my diet, changed my mentality. So I'm not saying not to take it over the counter medicine if that is what you truly feel you need to do. I'm just saying I would suggest you be open minded to look at some other alternatives that might help you, right?
Yeah.
That also helped me, man. Create a series, or what I'm actually been talking about for the last about a year when I go on tour. I talk about change, right? That's a major change in your life. And I say, I've
Yeah.
said it before many times, change is hard at first, it's messy in the middle, but it's rewarding as conclusion. I'm a
It is.
testament to that right there, to those three elements.
Awesome. Awesome. Enough on that, man. You look good. You look better than when I know you over there in 2023. So whatever you're doing, man, it's working for you. So I'm glad that you're here. And thanks to your family, your wife, and the family members who definitely support you along the way. And we need
Yeah,
that to survive. Uh,
it's a blessing.
but Mark, yeah, it is, man. But let's get into the meat of this conversation, Mark. You are the man behind the process, the man behind the process. Tell us about your journey. Who is Mark V. Smith beyond the title and the profession?
Man, I am just a simple guy who is learning, make it a point to learn something every day. I make it a point to learn something every day and to give something every day, whether it is a simple smile, whether it is a handshake, whether it is um, just a ear to listen. Um, Raised in a humble beginnings, born in Ohio, spent a good majority of my life in Columbus, Ohio. Left Columbus, Ohio, because I wanted something better for my kids. I wanted them to experience life in another element. I moved to Arizona. I lived in Arizona from '99 to 2011 because I wanted my kids to be multicultural. I wanted them to be able to sit in a boardroom or sit in a conversation or sit in an interview and be able to interact with a CEO that speaks Chinese, French, Spanish, Japanese. It didn't matter. I wanted them to be there and be on point to be able to do that. Um, in 2011, I decided that it was time for me to move. I don't want to say so much move. I felt stagnant. Now, something has always hit me, DJ Quinn, and I've said it multiple times. I believe comfort is a casualty of growth. When we get
Mm,
comfortable, we stop growing. And that happened to me when, as soon as I moved here, I took a role as a as a career development specialist for a for-profit school, and I've been with that organization for several years. I got nice and comfortable and thought I was going to probably stay there forever. And in 2018, they closed their doors. And at that time, I was 54 years old without a job. Hadn't updated my resume in about 5, 6 years. Why? Because I felt I wasn't going anywhere. And
yeah.
sometimes in life, we get um, slapped, so to speak, so we can wake up and we can find
Pushed.
pushed, pushed, wake up, kicked, tripped, whatever you want to call it. You get woken up to know that you have to do something else. Then you got two choices. You can fold, or you can have a pity party. You can fold, or you can rise up. Right? They say fear stands for false evidence appearing real. Right? Some people say that that's the acronym for fear. I was always taught that that fear, the FEAR says face everything and rise. So I really
Face
had to,
everything and rise.
yeah, I really had to learn that if I was going to do something to be the man that I know I can be, I had to reinvent myself. So I did. I used a bridge between post secondary education and workforce development, because as a career service director, you help people with resumes. You interfaced and you interacted with employers all the time. You sold individuals basically to so they're good or how great they were to different companies. So when after that organization shut its doors in 2018, DJ Quinn, I said, I'm not touching post-secondary education ever again in my life. And I said, okay, what would it parallel to helping me still use that skills that I had to move forward in another career path? And I just happened to trip and fall, trip and fall into workforce development. And it has really done a lot of things for me. It's done. I've hoped and I know that I've helped a lot of people in that arena get to different levels that they want to do. So now it's my time to bridge those gaps, to take the post secondary education, the workforce development component, and share with men and women across the country. How do you continue to make an impact? And how do you make that impact in your daily life? And how do you make that impact in somebody else's life? And it's difficult to do, because if you have a heart and you're humanistic, there's days that you feel bad, you hurt for people in both sectors. So when you hurt for people, you hurt for yourself. So how can you rise above to show somebody else who's hurting how they can get through? So that's the path that I'm on now, and that's what I do. I do a lot of seminars, I do a lot of conferences, I do a lot of special training sessions just on that. So man, Marcus has evolved. I know that, like I said, there's been hiccups inside my life. There's things that I'm not proud of, but yet and still to this day, I wouldn't go back and change anything, because they all have been learning experiences for me. They say
Yeah.
knowledge speaks, wisdom listens. It's finally got to the point to where the wisdom has finally listened to where it can deliver knowledge to others.
Mark, for the people in the third world country where I'm from that might not understand workforce development, give it to us in a sentence what it really is.
In one sense, I would say that the ability to find an economic component that will allow you to take care of your family. An economic component. It can also be it, but it doesn't have to. When I say economic component, that's a big umbrella. That can be education, that could be training, that could be apprenticeship, that could be reading, that could be study, self-taught. So there's an economic components all fall in that umbrella. So that again leads to a workforce development and leads to an opportunity.
Also, we could talk some more about that. But what experience shaped your passion for leadership and workforce development? I know you said you happened to fall into it, but growing up in the home, in the village, in the city, what you think really shaped that passion that you know that you said accidentally you fell on it, but something had to shape you because in a home you find that you develop soft skills that not really are taught in colleges and university. So you learn some soft skills in the home, all right? So where did you think you got it from
I think I
to be
think
the
it
leader?
I think it was embedded in me at birth. They say that your gift is doing something that really is effortless. It's truly effortless. Um, and I go back to look at youth sports. I mean, I was a leader in youth sports. I wasn't very vocal in practice or very vocal in anything like that. But when I got in the game, I was the heck raiser for all intents and purposes. Same thing evolved in high school and on in college. And when I went out into the employment world, I learned that you truly have to observe before you speak. Les Brown once said that when you open your one of the greatest lessons that you can teach somebody, from a young adult to somebody who's just developing, is really be careful with what you say, because when you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. And
Mm,
I kept that inside of my forefront of my brain for my entire, and I still do it today. I'll sit and listen and take notes and come back and try to put things together to see, hey, how does this fit into the equation? Um,
mhm.
but it's about really trying to be, hungry but humble, looking at your life, thinking about where you really want to go, thinking about who you can bring with you. See, many people go through life, they reach a level, and then they're happy, they clap their hands, they high five, they do all that. But who have you, and I challenge all the time, who are you taking with you? Who are you really taking with you? Who are you? I use a word when we talked at the very beginning: uplift, empower, and enhance the quality of life. Who are you doing that for? If you're not doing that for somebody that you potentially don't know, somebody that you're taking underneath your wing, then what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you just being self-serving? Because I mean, do you? If that's what you want to do you? But I learned at a young age, man, that I wanted more, and I wanted to be able to help people do more, and more importantly, man, realize that they can do more. And that's where I'm at in my life right now. And I ask everybody when I get done speaking, is it one person in this room right now that got something out of this? And I've been blessed to see quite a few people raise their hands, because again, I want to leave them with something that is going to make not only make them think, but make them consider changing, making a change in their life for the better.
Thanks, Mark. I served in law enforcement and I served as an investigator for the state of Georgia. And for me, I think I had this position where I had power over people, where when you investigate crimes and abuse, neglect, and exploitation, people fear you because their job is at stake because of your uh, reported, right? Just like for me, it's like power over.
Hmm.
Um, you have chosen a path to have power with people, and I've chosen that path eventually to have power with people. Why have you focused your life's work on helping people discover purpose and navigate change? It's got to be either passion, a learned behavior. Why did you choose that path? Because you could have been in the military, you could have been in law enforcement, right?
Yeah.
Why?
I think, in my, I'm gonna date myself. Okay, I don't have a problem doing that. I'm 61. I'll be 62 in November. And for a good majority of my life, DJ Quinn, I like to say that I lived life transactional. And what I
Mm,
mean by transactional is, how is this going to benefit me? How is this going to help me get to my next level? What is it going to do that to enhance Mark and put more money in Mark's pocket, and potentially help Mark take this other vacation, to help Mark do this, that. It was about Mark. And I learned in my early 40s that if you continue to live life transactional, you'll be by yourself all your life. You'll never have a circle of people who you can depend on, who depend on you, who you can fellowship with, who you can, sit down and have a meaningful conversation when something's going bad, something's going great. You can share it. You can share it with them, and they have the same enthusiasm if it's bad as they have when it's good. It's not a "I told you so." It's not a "What were you thinking, man?" It's "We're here, right?
right.
Let's put this together." So after that, I figured, wait a minute, this is not the way you live life. Life is supposed to be led transformational, and that's what it
Thank you.
hit. That's when it hit me. So to go from transactional to transformational is a huge step, and I think those who really want to empower people at the same time, you learn that there's more success or more satisfaction when you live in a transformational lifestyle versus a transactional lifestyle. It's we live in a world. Think about today. We see this on TV. We see it on social media. We see it in almost everything that we do. We pick up the TV, we see something. You go to the store and you see somebody cutting somebody else off or somebody raising Cain at a cash register, right? That's still a transactional mindset. And
Yeah,
we're not
yeah.
called to have transactional mindsets. We're called to have transformational mindsets. And as soon as we internally digest that and understand that, man, our life changes. And I'm here to tell you, brother, and those that are listening, that will change your life. That will make
Mm,
almost anything that you go through or anything that comes across your way be adaptable, digestible, and be able for you to find a way or solution to kind of help you move forward. You don't stay stuck.
mm. I like it when you said empowering others.
Yeah.
You find that passion, that pleasure in empowering others. You know, having power with others, right? That's phenomenal. Thanks, Mark. But your platform is called the process. Why is the process so important in personal and professional growth?
Let me ask you a question. Do you like cake?
Of course. I do all the time when I go to weddings, birthdays. I tell people all the time, take a
so
piece of cake, right? There's
so
a reason why.
so somebody asked me, Mark, if you could dumb down what the process is, what would you tell somebody? I said, let me break it down to like a middle school level so everybody can get it. So that's why I just asked you, do you like cake? Now, think about baking a cake. A cake needs a couple things. It needs ingredients.
Yeah,
It needs a heat source. Some heat source
yeah,
has to rise it, right? So once that cake rises and it's out the oven, it's digestible for you to eat. Now, what's
yeah.
in your cake may be different than what's in my cake. But the end of the day, the cake is still good because I put in it what I needed to put in it and what was placed inside of it. So that is a process, right? Everybody
Mm,
goes through a process. And it's like a cake. It's just what inside there makes it different, makes it taste different,
mm,
makes it feel different. And I learned at an early age, man, that everything that we do it's a process. It's evolving. It's moving forward, sometimes backwards, sometimes sideways, sometimes diagonal. And I think what we have to keep in mind is that figure out what is it teaching us each step. It's easier for us to, when things are going well, to just and keep it moving. But what are we doing when we're going through some things, when that change gets messy in the middle? Right? Remember, I said change is hard at first, messy in the middle, rewarding at the end. What are we doing when it gets messy in the middle?
mm.
Here's something. Here's a stat, man. Check this out. Most people, I'm not gonna say most, I'm gonna say many people do what right around December 30th, December 31st. They make a New Year's Eve resolution, right?
Yeah,
They say,
resolutions.
I'm going to the year, I'm gonna lose weight,
Going back to the gym.
yeah, I'm going back to the gym. I'm gonna quit swearing. I'm going to church. I'm gonna do all that. But here's a stat, man. 88% of the people who make a New Year's resolution fail within the first 2 weeks.
Mm,
It's messy. It's messy. It's uncomfortable. And we would rather, as individuals, be comfortable than uncomfortable. So when I wrote the process or started writing the process back in 2018 or 2020, I'm sorry, in 2020, I started thinking about, Mark, how can you best describe things that everybody goes through in life? And how can you best describe that through your lens versus everybody else's lens? So I use acronyms. I said, I want to do something different, right? We've all heard speakers. We go places and we hear phenomenal speakers, but then sometimes you can't remember. You get on the plane or you get in the car and you go back home. Okay, what did he say? I can't remember that. Well, I said, but if I can use acronyms, then a person can relate to that and tie it into something that is infused inside their life. And I did. I started out in 2020 with my very first show, my very first podcast. I was reading off a piece of paper, recording it, trying to get the mustard and drive to go, and I called my very first message, which was the acronym AIR, AIRR, AIR. And I said that stands for accountability, integrity, responsibility, and respect. That is the foundation of life. If you can look at yourself every single day and say, I've been accountable, I've operated with integrity, operated, in responsibility and operated in respect, guess what? I won the day. So I looked at the process in a bigger picture, man, and said, how can I bring this out to individuals so they would have an opportunity to think about some of the decisions, some of the choices that they're making. I'm not saying your choices are wrong, right or wrong. I use myself. I tell on myself of the things in all my podcasts and stories. I tell them the things that I went through, or people that are close to me went through, or even my parents or grandparents went through, or people that I know, just to let people know, man, that we can all do life collectively. And what you've gone through, or I may not have gone through, but I know somebody that I can connect you with that's gone through it. In 2023, I was blessed to do. Reached out by TEDx Cole Park, and they asked me would I do a TED talk, and I did a TED talk on the word growth. And it really took me a long time to figure out what does growth really mean? Because again, words, letters, acronyms are all subjective to other people. I said growth stands for gradual reminder obstacles will test hope. That's growth. That's growth. That is understanding that every day is not going to be a good day, but you're going to get through it, right? Our track record, Dr. DJ Quinn, of getting through things is 100%. If we're breathing, any situation that we've been encountered, we've gotten through it. The result may not have been what we wanted, but we got through it. So that's what the process is all about, man. It's about sharing stories, sharing ideas, sharing concepts with individuals all across the country, for them to know that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to at one point to sit in here and have life, but you're thinking of living life transactional. But when you walk out of here, you might be contemplating living transformation. So that's what it's about. I'm pleased to say, man, this is 6 years. I'm on my 12th episode. I'm looking to put it all together into a book. I'm just blessed, man. I'm truly blessed.
I apologize to my viewers. I didn't tell them that they need to come here with a pen and paper, notepad or something, because Mark B. Smith would be here with me tonight. I didn't tell them that. Please, guys, grab your pen and paper because there's more nuggets he's going to be dropping. You recommended morning map, Mark. Meditate, affirm, and plan. Unpack that for me.
Okay, I'm sorry. Say that one more time. You broke up.
The morning map. I think I need to change my mic. The morning map. You introduced the morning map. Meditate, affirm, and plan. You want to unpack that for me while I change my mic?
Absolutely. You know quite well. I had a conversation with you at one point, long time ago. I asked, it wasn't just you, it was other individuals who were in that area. I asked them, I said, I have a challenge for you. And the first part of that challenge is that when you wake up, ask what your normal time of waking up was. Some people said 7, some people said 8, some people said 6. I said, back that up. Can you back it up 30 minutes or 45 minutes? Well, I don't know if I can. Yes, you can. You can. You may not choose to not back it up. But if you back it up to 30 minutes or 45 minutes, then when you get up, I don't want you to touch your phone. Leave your phone where it is, right? Because what's happened has already happened. There's nothing you can do to change it. That's it. Spend that time when you first get up and you get up and brush your teeth, wash your face, look in the mirror and think about who you see. What do you see inside that mirror, right? And then take us another step back and then go and just get into the right headspace for the day. How can you help somebody else get through things that you're going through when your mind is like crap, it's cluttered, it's with a lot of different things, right? And then you want to make sure that you're able to actually act on those things during the day. You're able to apply everything that you want to do for the day. I used to tell everybody, and I did it all myself, is whatever I had going on in my day, as soon as I turned that car off and closed that door, it's whatever was going on was in that car. It was in the car. It would be there when I get back. The people that I worked with, the people that I worked for, deserve the best Mark that Mark could be, right? And then planning starts the day before. It doesn't start the day out. It starts the day before. That's when you're starting
Mhm.
to get your head together on what needs to be done. I still today, I will look at my calendar. I will look at what I'm scheduled to do the next day, and I will figure out how I'm going to attack it. What is my plan? And what do I put this in time slots? Do I allow extra time in case this doesn't go this particular way? Right. So if you use the map method every single day, and you concentrate on being the best person that you could be every single day, then man, you'll find you have more good days than bad days. And then I always, one thing that I didn't I talk about as well, but I really am very very adamant about it is Don Ruiz. He wrote a book called The Four Agreements, and inside the Four Agreements, he said if you can answer these four questions every single day, guess what? You had a powerful day. Number one, if you were impeccable to your word, meaning if I told you I was going to do something, I did it.
Yeah.
Right? I was impeccable to my word. Number two, did I take things personal? Don't take things personal. Right? We live in a society that we quick to get in our feelings, and it's not even about us half the time. Right? So if we're impeccable to our word, we don't take things personal. Um, we don't make assumptions. Don't make assumptions. Ask for clarification over confirmation every single time. And the last thing and most important thing is always do your best. Always do your best. People say people use. I hate when somebody says I'm going to give 150%. You can't. You just can't. That's impossible. You can do the
Mhm.
best you can do. If 70% is the best that you got, that gonna give me 70%. If 65% is the best that you can do, that gonna give me 65%. Now let's sit down and get a plan and figure out how we can get 70. And once we get to
Yeah.
70, how can we get 75? Now,
Yeah.
70, how can we get 80? How can you continue to push yourself to be better every single day? Just with
Yeah.
1%.
You learn something every day from you, Mark. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good, good. I hope you guys got it. Map, meditate, affirm, and plan. I hope you guys have your pen and paper. Take some notes, man. This is some nuggets right here. Every day I work with this guy, you learn something new. Mark, your recent article addresses uncertainty. Why do so many people struggle when life becomes unclear?
I think a lot of times it has to do with their own personal faith. I think life becomes unclear for everybody. It is. It will. Right. There's choices that have to be made. There's decisions that have to be made. Um, but one thing is for sure, it's temporary. That uncertainty is temporary. It's not something that's going to last forever. It's something that you're going to get through. If you know that you're doing things the right way, if you know that you are doing things that are up and up, if you know that I hate to say it again, but if you know that you're living a life that's transformational, then the uncertainty is going to fade really, really quick. Um, uh, we don't know if we're going to wake up tomorrow. That's uncertain. We don't. We don't know if we're going to hit the lottery. It's uncertain. So uncertainty is a major part of life, but we have to enjoy the day. Too many people worry about, I'm not saying don't worry about tomorrow, but we lose track of today. We lose track of what we're doing in that 86,400. Losing track of today. Live in the moment. Live in the, that's the, you know what? When I was going through prostate surgery, that was the biggest thing that my wife asked me to do before I went in surgery. Before I went in surgery, she gave me a kiss. She said, "Now, when you come out, I want you to live for the day. Don't worry about tomorrow. Live for the day." And I think we don't do that enough, man. We
Mm.
focus on other things. Our mind gets caught away. That's where uncertainty comes in, right? If we don't live for the day, man, we're missing out on an opportunity or missing something that could be very valuable. It can be a memory, that can be uplifting, that could be learning. It could be something that was key that we will need in the future.
Yeah, yeah. But talk to us about the two column truth. Why do our fears often become larger than reality?
Man, because unknown. It's really because of an unknown. It's because that our mindset automatically deviates and says, "Look, what if I fail? What if I don't do it? What if something happens wrong? What instead? Remember, we just talked about false evidence appearing real and face everything arise. There should not be a moment in our lives that we succumb to fear or succumb to not being confident in who we are and where we need to go. Um, there's two sides. Well, actually, there's three sides to every story. I think everybody's heard this one before, right?
Yeah,
There's yours, mine, and the truth.
yeah.
Yours, mine, and the truth. Sometimes yours and mine are similar, but the truth is what's going to get you through. So I really talk a lot about making sure that we stay stable. Right? I used the adage hungry but humble earlier. Make sure that we stay stable. Make sure we have stability. Make sure we have our base. Go back to accountability, integrity, responsibility, and respect. Right, the foundation. Go back to those. Lock into those, man, and then life will move us in different ways, but also move us in a positive, powerful way.
Awesome. I spoke to some folks who offer joy at work training. I think that's one component I need to know. Is it incorporated in what you are working on? Joy at work, uh, allowing people to appreciate the space they're in. How you feel about having joy at work? I know we had good joy, good fun working
Yeah,
in the office.
yeah.
So tell
I,
us about.
I think you need to, right? You need to be able to. I don't want to say be get over. You got to take care of business. That's a fact. You're there to work.
Oh yeah, we got data to do. We got timeline, deadlines.
Yeah, yeah, reports. But who says that can't be fun? Who says that can't be a game? Who says that can't be a rewarding or an experience that you can harness forever? Right? We go into, we look at it as, I got to go to work instead of I'm blessed to have a job to go to work.
Yeah.
We look at I gotta pay these bills versus at least I thank God I have a job so I can pay my monthly obligations. It's all our mindset, man. And so, excuse me, you can have a good time going to work. You can have a good time doing some things that you truly want to do inside somebody else's environment that help pays your bills. It doesn't have to be a stressful situation. And again, I'm not, please don't think that, and I'm telling everybody, please don't think that I haven't been down that road. Please don't think that I didn't hate going in sometimes. Please don't think that I didn't get frustrated with senior level managers or individuals. Please don't think that because it happens. I'm human. But I learned quickly to look at it in a different level and different perspective. Does that make me right? No. Does it make you right? No. It just means that my perspective I chose to look at comes from a transformational standpoint versus a transactional standpoint.
Yeah, yeah. I'm speaking to Mark V. Smith, and I hope you guys have your notepads and your pen and grabbing some notes because it's going to definitely come in useful later on. I want to say good night to you once again, those of you coming on in. If you do have a question for Mr. Mark Smith, please drop it in the chat so we can definitely tag team and be collaborative and ask the questions that we need some answers from. This guy is dropping some nuggets, and I'm pulling it out from him because I know he has a good repertoire. He has a good reservoir of information. So thank you, Mark, for availing your time. But let's get back into you, Mark. The idea of 72-hour sprints is fascinating, you know. How can Mark, how can short goals help people avoid becoming overwhelmed from this 72-hour sprints?
Basically, locking everything, removing all the noise. Remove all the noise and focus on what you need to do in increments. Not all at once, but in increments. If we focus, I use 72-hour sprints because I think that is a good adage to say that I'm locking in for this particular time to get to where I want to go, and then I'm going to pull back. I'm going to pause. I'm going to regroup. I'm going to reassess where I'm at and what I've done, and then I'm going right back into it. and then I
Mm.
will come back to it, and then I'll come right back into it. And you see progress. You're able to pat yourself on the back and just say, "Yeah, I did a great job." Now, and it gives you momentum, right? Once we see something that we can complete, it gives us momentum to continue on to move to the next level. So, yeah, I use that a lot. Still use that a lot.
Yeah, I'm taking notes, man. And how can individuals maintain hope and confidence when everything around them feels uncertain, Mark?
Back to your fear, man. Back again, it goes back to fear. We, what is being portrayed in almost everything that we see is negative. It's negative. You get very little positive information on the news. I said if I ever had a stroke of money, I would buy a TV station and call my show the Positive People Network (PPN). And we automatically, when we hear something negative, it drives an emotion, and that emotion is either going to lift us, it's going to make us angry, or it's going to make us sad. And we have to get better in kind of separating that from just the instance of what it is, and break it down a little further and try to dialogue about what is truly going on. And I know that it can be done. It just becomes a routine, kind of like 72-hour sprint, becomes a routine of things that you need to do every single day, and practice, put in play. You just play a game out of it. Like I said, use a ticker, right? Put a ticker. How many times did I delete this thought, or how many things, how many times? We've all heard the whole adage, and I didn't do it. Honestly, I didn't do it till I was in my mid 40s. Take a piece of paper and write down everything that I was grateful for. Over 40, man. Over 40 years old before I did that. Write down everything that I was grateful for. Then write down all my problems. Man, that sheet of problems was very small compared to things that I'm grateful for. And that's when you know, again, you're living transformational versus transactional.
Yeah, people do it at the Thanksgiving table. Some parents make the kids do that. I hope they
But
still
it should
continue
be
to
it
do
should be
that.
some it should be something. I mean to cut you off. It should be something that we should do every day or once a week.
Yeah,
Right? Every
yeah. What am
single.
I grateful for?
Yeah, and then that will change your mindset. That will change your mindset about what you think and what you view and how you act.
Yeah, yeah. Workforce development, man, it's your pet peeve. Workforce development in America. Let's talk about that, Mark Smith. There seems to be,
It's changed.
you know,
It's changed.
Mark, there seems to be a disconnect between employers and job seekers. Why is that gap still so large?
I think it's two things. One, um, the expectations on both sides. Expectation of the employee and expectation of the employer. Many times we rush to get to certain levels without really understanding where we're going. Um, many organizations need to do a better job in creating and publicizing career pathways. And what I mean is, let's say I come in at one particular level. What do I need to do to get to XYZ? Tell me. Let me see a blueprint. Let me see that. That's one thing. The second thing I'm going to say that hinders employers, employees, men, women, doctors, nurses, um, you name it. Grocery store managers, grocery store staff, is communication. Communication. The art of communication no longer exists. There's an email. There's a text message. There's not a conversation to where you sit down with somebody and have that one-on-one to where you can express what is truly going on versus in an email. We all know, man, emails are. I've seen some. I'm sure you've seen some that may just, what is this guy or what is this lady saying? What are they doing? Right. So it's those two elements, man. Expectations and communications, I think, is one of the major differences in the workforce right now. And I hate to say it, but I'm gonna say it. It's entitlement. I think there is a
Entitlement.
entitlement. Yeah, entitlement. I think there's There's times when individuals feel that they are owed something or they're entitled to something, and that's not the case. And back in my parents' day and my grandparents' days, you went to work and you worked 20, 30 years for an organization, and you consistently and you moved up within that organization, or you stayed there, but you were with that organization for 20, 30 years. Guess what? The average person will not stay at their employer no more than 7 years. They're gone. Transition, move to something else. And do you blame them? I don't know. Only time will tell how that happens. But I just think there's a whole mess inside of the relationship between an employer and employee right now.
Hmm. I'm seeing some questions in the chat because uh, folks are coming in now and dropping it in. When we pass that subject, now I'm seeing it, Mark. So a good segue for you to get something to drink, because I'm telling you, folks going to be asking you questions. Accountability, Mark. Let's go back to that. Can accountability is asking, what can accountability can be challenging because it requires honesty, discipline. How can people create meaningful accountability systems that keep them focused on their goals even when motivation fades?
Mm, that's a great question. What is the value of your goal? I think I would start there with that individual. What is the value? What does accomplishing that goal mean to you? What does it really mean to you? And how what is it going to do for you? If you once you hit that goal, are you going to be satisfied with that, or are you shooting for something else, or are you staying there? So accountability means that you are locking in on where you truly want to go, not just so much for your goal, but for yourself as well. That's why I said accountability, integrity, responsibility, and respect. They all go hand in hand. So that would be my question. Motivation is going to fade. It truly does. But you have to look at exactly why you are doing this. I always close any one of my sessions when I have a simple premise, and I say your why is greater than your situation, which is part of your process. So if you don't know your why you got to get there. Again, life is simplistic, right? If you have to know why you're doing what you're doing. And I don't take this when I do DJ Quinn, when I do workshops or speeches, when I hit that button, when I ask about your why, I'm not stopping when somebody says my daughter, my granddaughter, my mother. No, that's not it. What's your why? Why are you doing it? What is the real? Because it's deeper than that. Those are all superficial answers. What is it really, and why? And why are you doing it?
And a good thing to ask Mr. Winston T. Jacobs, why are you taking your break so you can listen to Mr. Mark V. Smith tonight? Why? Uh, I think I know the answer for that. But we listen to learn, and I'm hoping that folks that taking this opportunity, this is rare. You know, sometimes I stay too long on this platform because I have so many questions of myself and others. And I hope you have the time tonight, Mark, to expound on some things to edify some people. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. And how can leaders, the question is, how can leaders create a culture of trust and psychological safety during times of change, crisis, or organizational uncertainty?
That is a powerful question. That is truly a powerful question. Um, I'm very critical of leaders. I really am. I'm very critical of leaders because a lot of leaders forget and forgot where they came from. They really think that telling somebody versus showing somebody is the way that things need to be done, or issuing a directive and expecting the subordinates or the staff to follow those. Um, all organizations, in my personal opinion, fall under uncertainty. And I'm going to tell you, especially today, when we have a volatile stock market, we have over 80,000 men and women just here in the DMV, just in this region, who are unemployed. When we have the competition of individuals in terms of their skill level varies. Plenty of them have a lot of skills. Some of them have degrees. Some of them don't have degrees. Um, we find ourselves wondering, am I going to get cut next? And I believe that leadership should be a little bit more transparent. I believe leadership should be a little bit more forthright. And I believe leadership should be a little bit more empathetic with some of the decisions and choices that they make. Now, it's easy to say, but a leader has to make those decisions and makes those choices. And that's where, again, he or she in that role has to decide if they are living a life of transactional transformation. Because the transformational leader will be able to have a conversation with his employees and let them know, hey, here's the direction we're going. We'd like to take you with us. If this doesn't fit where you truly want to go in your long range plans, then I will do my best to help you with any type of references or anything that we're going to go or that we're going to do. I don't like the mass layoff, the mass firing. I think those don't send great messages to individuals. And I've been through it. Like I said, December 2018, when I lost my job. The same day, went in, did presentations, doing great. 12 o'clock, we're going to my campus president's office. The regional director tells us that they're closing their doors and they're closing them at 5 o'clock today. That's uncertainty. That's rough. That's rough. But you know what? I go back to that date, December 18th, 2018, almost 8 years ago. That was the best thing that ever could have happened to my life because I'd still been sitting at that institution and not living my dream right now of empowering and impacting people.
Awesome. Mark, you back?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. And it's a good thing. It's a good segue for us to say it's a good thing you end up where you ended up to meet people like Leslie Ward. Remember Leslie there, the operator there, the receptionist at the front desk? She said, I'm really enjoying the interview with Mark V. Smith. Has always been a great speaker, Mark.
Thank you.
Compliment there, Mark.
Thank you, Leslie.
Awesome. And we have more to talk about, Mark. We have more. We have rapid fire. I'm going to keep you for a little longer, and so people can ask you some more questions because you are valuable. Winston T. Jacobs is saying, what is the difficulty in working with a boss or a leader?
What is the difficulty?
Yeah.
Communication.
What is the difficulty? Communication.
I just that we'll find you'll find out that communication really is the problem for almost everything. And I diluted between employees, through management, through relationships, through everything. Communication is a lost art. We are so impersonal today. With a text message, with an email, it's not a phone call, it's not a face-to-face conversation. One of the things that I do like, a lot of organizations that I've done work with, DJ Quinn, and I don't know if you've seen it in the industry now, they don't call human resources anymore. They call it people and culture. And it's to change the mindset, because we all know back in the day when you get that call, HR wants to see you. You
want to go to the bathroom before you go see them.
It's like the principal's office, right? So they call it people and culture, and that's to change the mindset of what their role is. And their role is to work on behalf, is the broker, is the middleman in between, right? They're supposed to look at your rights as well as look at the organizational position and make sure that there's a unification in there. And I've really found that since they've made this change with that mentality and methodology, that a lot of individuals are more forthright in coming and having a conversation with them. And that is when when I talk a lot about the change messages, or change is hard at first, messy in the middle, but rewarding at its conclusion, I usually bring that up because, again, here you're seeing the evolution of everybody's mind shift to make sure that everybody's getting where they want and what they need.
Well, Mark, what are employers saying they need most from today's workforce?
Wow. Somebody that doesn't need to be a whole lot of training. somebody that's skilled and can come in and work, somebody that is very receptive, somebody that's open minded, and somebody who really wants to help the organization grow. When I always coached interviewing skills, tell everybody, or used to tell everybody, we don't talk about you at all. It's not about you. It's about the employer. How are you going to make the employer win? There's two things they care about: how you going to save me time and how you going to make me money. If you can't convince them in that through articulation, then guess what? You're gonna have an issue. They're gonna move on to somebody who can. So I think just being able to share the knowledge that you have of them and how you best fit into their goals of where they want to go within a certain period of time. Because again, I brought it up. 7 years is usually that's that magic number. 7 years and gone.
I guess this is relatable, Mark, that what are job seekers missing that prevents them from actually securing meaningful employment?
Their ability to articulate, their ability to understand what the company's mission is, their ability to have the skill set to come in, hit the ground running, and being able to let people know that they're there to help them win, not to take anybody's job, not to um, uh, go through any types of changes. You know, when I lost my job at 54, I knew that a lot of employers were going to think a couple things. One, he's too old. Two, he's going to be
Ageism.
set in his ways. Three, he's not going to like deal with change. And four, how's his technology? Right? I'm gonna waste time with answering a lot of questions of technology. I knew these. I knew these were going to be four things that I had to answer. And the last one would be, and the last one they were wondering how long was I going to be there. I knew that, right? How long was I going to do that? So to answer those four questions, how was my technology? I quickly told them and showed them I was Microsoft certified. How long was I going to be there? I took and whited out a copy of my check stub, my last check stub, that showed how much vacation and sick time I still had. So that erased the bugaboo about I wasn't going to come to work. Three, I brought in references and I brought in testimonials or evaluations from other individuals, students that were in the school that told them how well I did and how I worked with them. And the last one, I brought in references from employers that I worked with while I was helping these men and women get jobs, to show how accommodatable, how I was able to help people work with, and how it was a great pleasure to work with me. So I knew those four things that were going to come at me with, or at least in their mindset. So I had those ready to go. So
So you were proactive.
I was proactive and I was ready. I was ready.
Yeah. Hmm. Well, Mark, you're a professional. I can tell you that. But how do workforce development agencies benefit from your expertise and your coaching strategies?
I help bridge the gap, but I mean, there's two methodologies. There's the methodology of what the employer wants, and there's the methodology of what the employee wants. Then there's also what the employer needs, and then what the employee needs. And I sit down and I have that conversation and show exactly how they can meet inside the middle. Um, I can't give you all the bells and whistles because that would be my training session. But
Right.
but I sit down and show them exactly where each one of them are on the side of the fence, where they are. Now, how do we slowly unravel that fence and take the barbed wire down on each side? How do we get to that point to where we're both meeting in the middle, to where it's a uniform area, but still with respect for on both sides? So it's doable. It's been done, and those that do it, man, their organizations have some of the greatest times. They got staff that last. They have individuals who don't call on it. They have people who are anxious to take on new projects, right? And the employer on us other side respects their private time, express the employee's private time. He understands the work life balance. So again, it's a win-win for everybody to make sure that everything is in place for them to be successful. Both parties.
Awesome. But if you had 5 minutes with every workforce board in America. What advice would you give them?
Reevaluate your goals. Reevaluate reevaluate your public's needs, your goals and their needs. And from there, develop strategies that's going to really pay off in your community 10 years from now. Be willing to kind of sacrifice the first couple years, but have a long-term effect. There should not be one workforce board in the country right now that's not focused, that it shouldn't have been focused 3 to 4 years ago on AI. It's not one that shouldn't have been. That should
Shouldn't
that
have.
that's should have been. I mean,
Yeah.
you should have workforce boards that are perfecting AI in trainings, through employee trainings,
Trainings.
through all of that at this particular point. So you need to think ahead. What's the next best thing or next greatest thing that's on the horizon that's coming? And a lot of it's technology based, right? So you're starting to look at that. I would tell workforce boards to be more in tune to what the employers in your area or your employers that operate in your heavy sector, where they're going, right? Sit down and talk with them and find out where they're going. So it's a win-win for everybody to make sure that you're staying abreast of what's going on, but you're also filling a demand. You're getting great talent. You're filling up and working with your specific jurisdiction, your county, your state, your city, and you're making sure that everybody is on the same pace for success.
Hmm. I got to ask you this, Mark. What does the future of workforce development look like over the next 5 years?
um, some of them are going to take a hit. Some of them truly are going. Some of them have not evolved. By evolved, I mean some of them have are still relying on the same things that they were doing 10, 15 years ago.
Hmm.
Some of them are moving in the right direction. Um, some of them are embracing change. Some of them aren't. So I would just say that change is inevitable. Growth is optional. It's going to happen. So do you risk not employing people in your particular jurisdiction? Do you risk the fact of other individuals moving out of your jurisdiction into someplace else that's going to assist them and their families reach economic stability? You really need to take a look at where you're at and where you truly want to go, which is kind of like back to the question that you asked me a few minutes ago. If I had 5 minutes with them, what would I tell them? You better forward think, and you better forward think quick, because the workforce, the people, are your most important piece. They're your most important piece. And if you can't service the people and the people aren't getting the service, they're going to go someplace else. And if they go someplace else, you have no reason to still be in existence.
Hmm. More questions for you, Mark. People attend workshops, read books, and listen to podcasts, but they struggle to apply what they have learned. What strategies would you recommend for turning good intentions into consistent, actionable habits?
I would say for them to break for you to grab, for individuals going to listen to a workshop or a podcast or read a book, try to find something inside there that equates to your life. Maybe past, present, where you want to go in the future. Find something inside there, because I'm almost guaranteed there is. There's something in there that's going to allow you to relate. Um, but I guess that's why, honestly, that with that question, that's why I did things a little different. That's why I used acronyms. That's why I used real life scenarios. The series that I'm working on now, that I'm about to release, um, actually releasing it in September, is called "Are you handing over the remote control of your mind to strangers?
Hmm.
Are you handing the remote control of your mind over to strangers?"
Strangers.
So I talk a lot in this one about the phone, the remote control, social media, um, emails. I talk about all these things that affect us internally, and we lose who we are and stop thinking about what our goals and what our mission is. And when we get a better grasp of stopping that at its forefront or pushing back from those types of things, then we're able to tackle anything that life has in front of us. It doesn't matter who it is, what it is. If we can just put the brakes on that, we can divulge ourselves, separate ourselves. I mean, think about it. Think about DJ Quinn. We all, every single person that's listening, every single person in the world has had somebody else say something or do something that changed our attitude, like that, like that, right? So they had the remote control of your mind. They changed the channel. How do we get the channel back? So that's what this series. That's what starting in September. What I'm hitting a lot of organizations and some of the conferences and doing seminars on.
Thanks, Mark. Mark, just picture this. Just picture this for a moment, right? And act like it's real for you. You're in a room tonight at 9:21 p.m. July 1st. You are in a room with educators, school superintendents, and Department of Education officials, right? What changes would you recommend to them tonight in your Mark V. Smith voice? You're on the platform. You're talking to these people tonight.
I would ask them what do they think is missing inside of this, the material and or the instruction that they have right now. Is it capturing the attention of the men and women, young men and women? Is it missing something that's not relatable? Is it giving them an opportunity for them to feel empowered and grow? Or is it just something that you're just flying off the handle and just giving them and just not really caring about? Are you evaluating your staff to truly see their learning gains? Are you really using other entities to engage them in learning gains? I think it would be a true, wouldn't call them out. Honestly, I'm not, because there are some great educators and great educational systems across this country. There really are. I would just think that, and let's be honest, man, especially when we're talking about a middle school, elementary, middle school, and high school level, those individuals aren't there for the money. We know that they're not. They're there because they have the.
It's got to be a call and a passion.
Yeah, they have the passion and they truly want to be there. So I think I was find some supports for them to help them out while they're in class, to find out how to get through to these young men and women. I think a lot of times schools, not all, a lot of times people lose track of the future, and those young men and women are the future. They really are. We may not agree with some of the choices that they make, and that's fine. Folks didn't agree with some of the choices that we made. But I think we got to find a way to really reach them, because they're a lot smarter. They're a lot smarter than we are. They really are. They are definitely way ahead of the game. And when you talk about taking technology and engineering and things of that nature to the next level, they're the ones that are able to do it. So why not put them in a position to win, so America or U.S. or your city and state can win?
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you so much for that, Mark. But to stay a little bit with our students, right? Should career readiness begin early in the education process?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It should be in middle school. We should be having this conversation all the time. We need to be we have that conversation, money management in that conversation, and health. Those all need to be wrapped up inside there, so individuals don't have to hear it someplace else or make the mistakes or go through the challenges that other people find themselves going through.
But how can schools better prepare students for careers and not just for tests?
Bring in individuals who've gone through those careers. Look at some of the top industry careers inside that particular area, and bring those individuals in and let them tell their stories. We learn more from other people who've walked that walk than we will ever in the past, right? Peer-to-peer learning. Have some of the individuals come in and I don't want to say adopt, but kind of work with some of the young men who are looking, or women who are looking at math. right? Have them come in, volunteer their time potentially, and do that. I think that would be a benefit to everybody. It'll get the kid, the youth, a little bit more interested, but also gives the employee or the individual who's coming in more uh, the ability to give back. Let's just say that it gives them an opportunity to truly give back and have some impact to with these young men and women.
And what's your take on career coaches being part of the school, uh, teaching process?
They should absolutely. They're looking at it from a holistic point of view, and not a narrow minded point of view. So they're looking at explaining to you and helping them guide what might work, what might not work, giving them true information versus one sided information. I think that's smart. That's very smart to be able to do that to help them get a better picture. Excuse me, a better picture and a better view.
So you believe that every school system needs to consider having career coaches in the middle schools and high schools?
If we're looking at advancing them into some form of career, right? We didn't say they had to go to college. We just said if they're looking at moving it towards some sort of career, whether it's vocational training, whether it's apprenticeship, whether it is a post-secondary education, yeah, definitely. Because I believe that they will. There's certain things that a career coach can get our youth to divulge that they won't divulge to parents or counselors, right? They may be able to get them to tell, hey, I'm not comfortable with this. This is really not where I want to be, and I can't tell. Haven't had this conversation with my principal, my counselor, or my mom or dad. But here's what I really like, So
Yeah, yeah. And there's some soft skills, like 15 of them: adaptability, communication, leadership, teamwork, emotional intelligence. How does that play in education system? How important is that?
people they have to know who they are. And I think as an adolescent, we struggle to know who they are. Right? They're still going through so many different things about their own feelings and unsureties. So they have to be able to make decisions, great decisions, on things that are coming for their future. And I think they still don't understand that. You put yourself in the mind of a 12-year-old, 13-year-old. They think they're invincible, right? They don't have to worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow's I deal with that tomorrow, right? They truly live in a transactional mentality, and it's not because they choose to. It's what they're brought up to do at that particular point. So having someone there to help guide them and let them still be a youth, still be a kid, right? Well, I'm not saying push them out of that youth or that youth mindset, but let them still be a kid, but yet and still be able to be successful and create a plan. Not all kids are like our youth are like that. Some of them are pretty focused and know what they want to do, but for the most part, I would say the majority of them are really are.
Awesome. Let's talk about leadership. How can schools build resilience and self leadership among students?
Give them responsibility. Give them responsibility and guidance, and let
Mhm.
them make the decisions. Let them have the opportunity to say yay, nay, and live with the consequences that come with that. Let them see some of the potential backlash that may happen. Let them live by the decision and the choices that they made. I do. I believe, one of the greatest things that I ever participated in as a kid in school was student council. That's one of the greatest things. I still remember a couple of the men and women that were or young kids who were in the student council with me. But it gave us a say about what we wanted to do with the school. It gave us a say about what we wanted to do with some of the kids that were in our grades. Not discipline wise, but I mean activities or things that how we wanted to grow the image of the school and the community.
That's awesome response. Thank you so much, Mark V. Smith. What skills do students absolutely need, Mark, to survive and strive in today's workforce?
Man, um, I'm gonna go back to one that I said before. They need to learn how to communicate. They need to learn how to communicate. They need to learn how to, um, which is tough, how to be consistent. Um, they need to learn how to be respectful. I can go on and on and on about that one. And I think they need support. We all need support at some level. Really, a youth needs it to be able to feel that they can get to the next level of what they need to do.
Hmm. Let's see if we have any questions coming in for you, Mark. In moments of conflict, high stress, what emotional intelligence practices help leaders respond thoughtfully instead of acting emotionally? Let me
Oh
put that for you.
wow, wow. Um,
I told you, man, you're going to be getting some questions tonight, Mark.
um, what I've done in those particular areas is I've really thought about what was being said. And a lot of times when I would receive emails at any time of the day or any time of the night, I would put a pause in it. I just put a plug in it, right? Because again, it goes back to what my series is going to be. Who am I handing the remote control of my mind to at that point? Right? If I quickly respond, then I know that I'm handing the remote back to them. If I sit back for a minute and analyze what is being said, then I can better respond at a different time. But primarily, I didn't respond a lot to, and I still don't. I don't respond to a lot of emails that could be confrontational theory or confrontational context. I will say I'll respond, but I'll say, how about we have a conversation face to face or over the phone about this, right? So that's what I would do, or that's what I've done as a leader. I don't now. Does everybody operate like that? Absolutely not. I just want to give the individual a benefit of the doubt for them to really explain to me what they're asking me or what they're saying aside that. Now, I've had leaders who, as I said before, who've hit those types of buttons with me, and I again, personally, I just stood back. I didn't reply, but that's just me.
You teach, Mark. How can they attend your seminar?
Well, there's a couple of them. There's well, you can go to my website. You go to www. Well, let's just cut it. theprocessmarksmith.com. You go, and I always have a counter or a ticker that they can actually go in and see what I'm up to or what I am next. I do have a speech or a conference, or not a conference, excuse me, a impact and influence speaking engagement. That's the 18th here in locally. Um, you can go to, I can give you specifics. You can go and you can pull up, and I'll share those with you, DJ Quinn. I can go ahead and send you specifics, and you can post that out there. But it is a conference, Impact and Influence. It's in Columbia, Maryland, on the 18th from 4 to 6. There's going to be, excuse me, 6 to 8. There's going to be speakers that are there. Plus, for anybody who's looking for leadership, I have a great lady who's going to be doing a talk on leadership, Dr. Tamika S. Hood. I believe you know who she is.
Yeah,
She's,
yeah,
yeah,
Dr. Hood.
she's going to be doing a talk on leadership, and I'm going to be closing the session out about talking about change and some of the elements of change that we all need to embrace. So,
Awesome. I think Winston is excited to attend your seminar. We need to have that website
okay.
in there. Mark, if you have a chance, just drop it in for me. Um, Also, uh, he have a question for you, Mark. What seems to be the problem with young black boys aged 20 to 25, young men, you mean, Winston T, who are committing suicide at high rate today?
Man, that's a tough one because this touches personally. I have a good friend of mine whose grandson just went through his 22nd birthday, and 2 days later he committed suicide on his sister's 16th birthday. So there's something. Let me back up. We as men, black men specifically, we keep things bottled up, and I kind of talked about that at the early beginning. We're afraid to show that we're potentially vulnerable, but we're also afraid to show that we really need help. We're afraid to reach out for help, and I believe there need to be more conversations, more um, promotions, more You, since they're heavy on social media, more information on social media about the African American or Black young men committing suicide at alarming rates, and where they can go for help or where they can go to talk. Um, I can't recall his name, but one of the basketball players for the New York Knicks, can't think of his name right now, but he actually came forward and they talked about it on the in the NBA Finals about how he was battling mental health and how he had talked about suicide, and how he mentors kids, young Black males in New York City who are considering that. But I think more of us need to step up and let the kids know that it's okay to have that conversation. It's okay to get that off your chest, because like I said, we want to carry you home versus carry your casket. And it's so important that we we have dialogue about that, truly dialogue about that, conversation about some of the keys to that, and don't judge, right? I mean, we can't judge. You're not weak. Individuals aren't weak if they're having those thoughts. It's a great question. That's a great question.
Let's talk to the parents, Mark. Let's talk to the parents. The kids might feel, um, we're dwelling so long on them today. Let's talk to the parents, shall we? What advice do you have for parents raising children in uncertain times?
Talk to your kids. Talk to your kids. Um, Make it a point to where you really have a good quality conversation and time with your kids, with your sons, your daughters. Somebody's having a conversation with them. You got two choices: either be you or it could be somebody in society, right? I would say that you go back. The days of having a family dinner are pretty much obsolete, right? You parents are moving so fast, kids are involved in so many different things. I think you really truly need to go back, make that a practice, make that a mandatory element, right? Because if you do it, they'll turn around and have their kids do it as well. There wasn't a day, it wasn't uh, a night a week that I didn't have dinner with my parents. Every single night, even when I was, even when I was in high school, after football practice, I came home, shower. My mom and dad didn't eat dinner till I walked in that house at 7:30, 8 o'clock. And we talked about my day. We talked about the upcoming games. We talked about school. We talked about life. Um, be a parent. Don't be afraid to be a parent. Now, I'm not. You have responsibilities. I understand, but your child is your responsibility as well.
We're talking to Mr. Mark V. Smith tonight, and he's here with us, helping us understand workforce development, and talking to students, talking to parents, um, and some more on parents. How can parents help children discover purpose instead of simply chasing money?
Wow. You know, that's a tough question, and it boils down to society, man. I believe that we all are, or let me just say, when we talk about entitlement, when we talk about what the kids see and see that fast money, they truly believe that this is supposed to be the thing that they need to do, and it's crazy. It really is. I don't have an answer for that one, man. I truly don't. I just think that it boils down to you being able to have tough love and have the conversation with your child. Uh, I can't tell anybody how to raise a child. I really can't. I refuse to, because again, that's your child. I know that I was very strict with mine because I wanted to raise them and not the judicial system. And I feel that if all parents or some parents really had that mentality, then they would be open to have conversations, tough conversations, hard conversations with their children about almost anything. I mean, I wanted to make it a point that my kids could talk to me about anything that was going on, because eventually I was going to find out one way or the other.
Mm. Mark, I rather suspect that many young people feel lost and anxious. What would you say directly to them tonight?
Don't rush to grow up. Trust and believe. I remember when I was a kid, I would tell my aunts and uncles and grandparents and parents, I can't wait till I'm an adult. I can't wait till I finally can get out the house and get my own car and have my own place to live and do what I want to do. Well, guess what? Those days are going to come. And you're living the best years of your life right now. Take your time growing up. You don't have to rush and do it. Then the things that you're craving, the things that you're admiring, the things that you truly want, they're gonna be there, right? But let's develop who you are, right? Let's get some of the skills down so you can understand your why and why you're choosing the goals that you're gonna have, why you're looking at pursuing XYZ as a career. Just take your time, enjoy your adolescence, and enjoy being a kid.
It's a good segue into this thing that you wrote. Your why is greater than your situation, Mark. Can you explain that statement for our young viewers tonight, Mark?
Absolutely. It's your why. And I talked a little bit about it earlier. Your why is what wakes you up in the morning, other than the blessing of God. It's why you walk out the door to go do what you have a passion for. It's why you truly are pushing yourself every single day for a goal or for a dream. And your why is greater than your situation, meaning that there are times that you're going to have struggles. There's time that you're going to have, I don't want to say failures, you're going to have learning experiences. There's times to when you really can't understand what's going on in your world or what's understanding in your life. But that's when you have to remember that is your why is greater than your situation, which is part of your process. Meaning you're going to go through it, you're going to get through it, and it's for the better and for the best for you that you're able to do these things. Nobody, if we had a perfect life, we would not appreciate anything. We wouldn't. We wouldn't. You just can't. You can't because you've had everything that was given to you. And if you have not struggled, then you don't understand what struggle is. You don't know. You don't understand what appreciation is. You really don't understand what gratitude is.
Wow. Some nuggets dropped here, man, on Forefront today. Speaking to Mark V. Smith. Mark, I got some more for you, man. Let me see if I can really bring you down to the rapid fire. Get it closer to the rapid fire. I want you to drink something, yeah. But tell me, what does success look like? What does success really look like to you, Mark?
Man, that's a loaded question. That's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Success,
I'm loaded like that.
Yeah, I know you are, right? I think success is subjective. I truly believe it's suggested, and it really boils down to the individual and what their desires are. Success for me is being able to help people every single day. Success for me is to be a great grandfather to my kids. For them to say that, they call me Poppy. Say Poppy is we love him. Success to me is being able to walk, talk, speak, impact people. Again, success is simplistic. It really is. You don't have to have. I've been blessed to have a lot of things. I've been blessed to have, financial security. I've been blessed with a lot of those things, but that's not success. Success is being comfortable with who you are at any particular time and being able to impact people. That's success. Success is seeing other people win, right? That's seeing other people win is success. And seeing them think that they can't achieve something and they do it. That's success. So
yeah. When we come back, we'll go to rapid fire, giving Mark V. Smith an opportunity to perhaps run to the bathroom, drink some water, because it's rapid fire. One word answer or a sentence. And so let us come back on the other side, meet Mark V. Smith right here. If you got any questions you want to ask him, you still can do that. Let's take a break for now and come back on the other side.
Welcome to CRL 365 Forefront today with RC Harley Quinn, Eka DJ Quinn, the man so mixer. This is more than a platform. This is purpose. This is people. purpose every day. Stay blessed and inspired. Spotlight on kindness and community light. People making change and doing what's right. Voices overlooked now stepping inside. Lived experiences turning darkness to bright. Each one teach another, let the healing begin. Safe space for the broken, let the truth come in. Know your worth, know your value within. Love is an action word, let the journey begin. You are blessed to be a blessing. No limitation to your becoming. Grow and grow, forward together and let's go far. You don't always have to be inspired. Sometimes you can be that inspiration. Grow and grow, your life is not expired. Presidential volunteer service awardee, minister and chaplain serving faithfully, career coach guiding youths carefully, peer support specialist at Messi Benjamin, broadcasting ready lot and left at Samshad Radio, panel discussions taking wisdom far, GG show conversations raise the bar. Now you know exactly who we are. Purpose driven, kingdom living, conscious conversation, healing generation. Make kindness your lifestyle and let love be your action word. CRO Reset 5 forefront today with our Harley Quinn, DJ Quinn, the matured mixer. Forward together, and together we can go far.
Welcome back to Forefront today, CRL 365. Mark, you see my Guyanese colors and my Guyanese pictures there. I think you have to make it your bucket list, man.
Yeah,
over there.
Yeah, buddy.
There were some workforce development situations there.
Yeah, I think we need to make that trip.
Yeah, let's do it, man. We can do it. So put us on your bucket list, man. I'll hold you to it.
Okay.
We are in this segment called Rapid Fire. Mark, I'm glad you had a chance to go get some water, some hot tea perhaps, use the bathroom, and me too. One word, short answers. You ready, Mark?
Sounds good. Let's go.
All right. Leadership is?
Understanding.
In all I get understanding.
Understanding. One word. Understand.
Yeah. Nice. Success is?
Subjective.
Awesome.
Depends on the individual.
Awesome. Good. Failure taught you what?
That I really didn't fail. That I learned.
Awesome. Taking some nuggets here from Mark B. Smith. One book everyone should read, Mark.
There's a ton of them, man. Honestly, who owns this ice house?
Who owns this ice house?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, I hope you guys are taking notes. This is rapid fire. One daily habit that changed your life.
Prayer
changed your life. Lady LaFlame got a good song about prayer changes things. You should hear it, Mark. Lady LaFlame. Yeah. Biggest workforce challenge. What would it be?
Change. The evolution of it. It's changed from back when I first entered to even to today. A lot of things have changed.
Awesome. I'll take that. Your biggest opportunity for young people.
Listen, listen
Listen.
more, speak less. Listen to your elders, listen to those around you, versus speaking.
That's also a soft skill, active listening.
Hmm.
Your favorite motivational quote, Mark, what would that be?
The one with Les Brown. Um, Definitely learn your communication, practice great communication, because when you open your mouth, you tell the world exactly who you are.
Practice good communication, another soft skill. One thing every student should know.
Their past, where the history of their ancestors. I think to go forward, you have to understand your past.
Awesome. You have just completed our segment called Rapid Fire. Congratulations. You've done well. This segment is called Pour Out. Pour out, Mark. Are you ready?
Yeah,
Complete these statements. I am most grateful for.
my family, truly my family.
Awesome. Pour out some more. My greatest lesson in life has been what?
Understanding that I don't fail, I learn.
Hmm. And the world needs more of what?
Accountability and respect.
I want to be remembered as who or what?
As an individual who helped change lives.
And my purpose is.
To change lives.
Awesome. You have completed the pour out segment. Congratulations, you have done well. Thank you so much for participating, Mark. I wish I had the applause thing to give you a clap hand, but you did well. I am speaking to Mark V. Smith, and I got some more comments that are coming on in. I want you to see that folks are really enjoying this conversation. And if you have any comments on this, powerful nuggets, AIRR, accountability, integrity, responsibility, and respect. Any more you want to expound on that?
No, I just think that's a foundation of life. When you talk about um, nuggets that kids can have, that adults need to go back and remember. If you center your life on those four things, I think you'll find that you can interact, you can go places, you can do so much more without stress and strife in life.
Hmm. One more comment. I'm thankful to be here listening to this interview. Thanks to you, Mark B. Smith. You are an inspiration to us all. May God continue showering his richest blessing upon you and family.
Thank you, thank you. I'll take all the prayers we can get.
If folks were to click on this link that I have in the feed, what would they see?
They're going to actually see a it's a blog. I do a blog every 10 days that's connected right to my website. You go to my website and you click Insight, then it drops down right to a blog. So you're able to see blogs. They rotate in and rotate out. But again, I take the time to try to write insightful things and share things that mean something to help people grow. Again, it's one thing to put something down on paper, but it's also one thing to live with it from experience. And that all my blogs come from experience. I use fictitious names. I use different scenarios, but they're all relevant to something that's occurred that can help somebody.
Awesome. Mark, before we go, please leave our audience with a final message on leadership, purpose, and navigating uncertain times.
Wow. Everyone's a leader. Some people say that they shy away from it, but everyone truly is. You're a leader. Somebody is looking to you or looking at you for a word of encouragement, for some motivation, and a desire for them to push on. I used to make it a practice sometimes not to return. Sometimes I get a phone call and I don't return a phone call. But I made it a practice now over my since I started living in the transformational aspect of life, that that call that somebody makes to you might be the final call that they make, that they're leaving, that they may decide that life is no more for them. So we want to make sure that we're there and we communicate to all of our friends, our families, and our people who really want to dialogue with us. And lastly, purpose. There's an old saying, a Chinese saying that somebody told me, and it said that the elders plant trees so our youth can enjoy the shade. And I want everybody to truly think about where you are, where you're going, and how you're going to get there. And let's remove some of the noise that's inside of life, inside of the world, to allow us to get there. It is our responsibility to help each other grow to the next level. And that's a challenge. You can call it a challenge from Mark, you can call it a challenge from society, you can call it a challenge from a higher power. But we are all are designed to help each other grow to be the best that we could be. So I challenge each one of you to go back to the basics, go back to your foundation, live your days in your lives with accountability, live your days in your life with integrity, live your days in life with responsibility, and truly, let's get back respect the way it should be. Your why is always greater than your situation, which is part of your process. Thank you for having me, DJ Quinn.
Mark, I'm not done with you yet because folks ought to know where to find you and what is happening in Maryland very soon. So, where can they come to attend your seminar? How can they follow you? You have an opportunity to drop it in the chat so that folks would find you immediately.
Let me join.
Uh,
Let me drop this in the chat real quick.
Talking to Mark Smith, Mark V. Smith, definitely took this time to come on in tonight to drop some nuggets for us here. He's an entrepreneur, he is a professional speaker. I started off already by letting you know uh, his accolades. He is definitely one that you ought to follow for more teachings on workforce development. Uh, I'm, I'm trying to keep with my team for tonight, leading through uncertainty and building workforce success. And I hope that you will find Mark's podcast and become a part of his following so that you can be impacted with his teachings. He's definitely a force to be reckoned with, could be invited to your cooperation, your agency, and definitely to help your leadership with the growth process. So please, as you drop the link in, please make sure you like and follow and subscribe, and tell him I sent you there. Mark, are you in with it yet?
Nah, it won't let me connect for some reason. You don't mind dropping it
Okay.
in for me?
Uh, which one is that again?
Drop in the processmarksmith.com.
Okay. All right. I will get that in. The process, marksmith.com. And I know that we talked a lot, Mark, and I might have missed a lot of things that you think the world ought to know about you.
I'm
Um,
trying to find it for you.
the process. Yeah, we talked a lot of things, Mark. Did I miss anything?
No, we hit everything on board. I'm getting ready to give you the website for the tickets for the show. It
Oh,
is
okay, that is.
it is. Well, let me put it in there. See if I can put it in the. Won't let me put it in the chat.
Which one are you in? YouTube or are you in the?
I'm just in your StreamYard. So
No, drop it in your Facebook page,
okay, all right, not a problem.
in the Facebook link. Yeah, and that way they can go back afterwards and they can find you and get connected. And if you guys need him to come speak at your establishment, you definitely can consider that. He's available nationally, and I think I'm gonna take him to Guyana, South America, so we can do some seminars over there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. But it's been a pleasure having you on tonight, Mark. And like I said earlier, you look good, and I'm glad that you are recovering, and I'm glad that your PSA is good,
Yeah,
um, and you continue to be an advocate amongst our men for us to take the necessary steps to secure our health and don't deprive our loved ones.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we've learned that uncertainty does not have to defeat us. Through self-leadership, resilience, emotional intelligence, and purpose, we can all find our way through the fog. I want to thank you, my guest, Mark V. Smith, for sharing your wisdom and your passion for developing people and transforming organizations. Remember, your why is greater than your situation, he said. Until next time, this is DJ Quinn, the Matured Mixer, reminding you to stay encouraged, stay informed, and continue leading with purpose. Once a good night to you, Mark, and to all of you, my listeners. Thank you so much for coming on in and leaving your questions and your comments in Facebook chat room and on YouTube. Thank you, Miss Leslie Ward, and who else was over there? The loners over there. Thank you so much. I know folks are going to be coming afterwards and trying to grab the nuggets from this. So we'll leave it up for you guys to get your pen and paper and learn some things from Mark V. Smith. So once again, thanks a lot, Mark. And it was a pleasure having you come on in. And anytime you're available, let me know if there's something you want to drop, and so we can let the people know. This is what we do here. We do storytelling here, and we empower people here over here at Forefront today, CRL 365. Thanks again for coming out, and good luck to you in all your endeavors, and best wishes to you and your family.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.
Welcome to CRL 365 Forefront today with RC Harley Quinn, Eka DJ Quinn, the Matured Mixer. This is more than a platform. This is purpose. This is people. This is service. Grow and grow, forward together and let's go far. Forward together and let's go far. You don't always have to be inspired. Sometimes you can be that inspiration. Grow and grow, your life is not expired. Walk in your purpose every day. Stay blessed and inspired. Spotlight on kindness and community light. People making change and doing what's right. Voices overlooked now stepping inside. Lived experiences turning darkness to bright. Each one teach another, let the healing begin. Safe space, feed the broken, let the truth come in. Know your worth, know your value within. Love is an action word, let the journey begin. You are blessed to be a blessing. No limitation to your becoming. Grow and grow, forward together and let's go far. You don't always have to be inspired. Sometimes you can be that inspiration. Grow and grow, your life is not expired. Presidential volunteer service awardee, minister and chaplain serving faithfully. Career coach guiding youths carefully. Peer support specialist at Mexic Benjamin. Broadcasting ready lot for left at Samshad Radio. Panel discussions taking wisdom far. GG show conversations raise the bar. Now you know exactly who we are. Purpose driven, kingdom living, conscious conversation, healing generation. Make kindness your lifestyle and let love be your action word. CRO Reset 5 Forefront today with RC Harley Quinn, DJ Quinn. the matured mixer. Forward together and together